Hello, Wolfpack. We're looking at Waves here, the Waves network and the Waves coin. We can see Waves that if we go to Lunar Crush quickly, Waves is gathering a lot of traction in the last week as Bitcoin started to recover. And as you can see, CoinMarketCap, we've made a massive move, to the upside here. If we measure this out here from, July 21st, which is when we started to see a recovery, we've moved up 150% roughly on Waves. Massive kind of returns here on Waves in the last couple of weeks or few weeks. And what is Waves? So basically, this video I'll be answering the question, will this pump be sustained? Because it's gathered a lot of traction from the current move up, not necessarily due to its fundamentals. Will it be sustained? That's the big question. I'll get to that in a second. I'll explain what Waves is first in terms of fundamentals just briefly. Essentially, Waves released in 2016, as one of the first offerings in its field. Waves set out to improve, early blockchain platforms and products. From the outset, it kind of appealed to business clients or prospective business clients looking to use the blockchain to improve, their processes and create new services. In terms of smart contracts and DApp development, ensuring that speeds and ease of use surpassed its competition at the time, which it certainly did. Whether that's the same now, whether it's the best in the game in terms of fundamentals now is up for interpretation. I can't say I'm particularly studied on Waves enough and their competitors to know that for certain. I just look at the TA when it comes to altcoin suggestions, as looking too deep into the FA is very, very time consuming. I personally don't own any Waves. I have owned it in the past, during this run up here, just briefly. I did miss out on this massive spike opportunity, as I wasn't necessarily aware of, Waves' tendency to spike up, but now I definitely know that for sure. You have coins in the market that have different ways of growing. Like if you look at a coin, for example, like Tezos, it's completely different. It's more, it's more gradual, and even Bitcoin, it's more gradual growth, over a long period of time, where Waves, for example, has the tendency to have, basically do not really too much or have this gradual growth and then spike up really fast and spike down really fast, in just a matter of a couple of months. And what that kind of suggests to us is that, yes, there are obviously people who believe in the Waves fundamentals and hold the token because of fundamentals, but the vast majority of people here are swing trading, are getting in and getting out, taking profits quickly. So that's what we have to look out for on Waves. It's not really a coin people tend to invest in that much for fundamentals. Obviously, there are people out there who do that, but it's more of a swing trading coin in my opinion. That being said, I am a trader, not really that much of an investor, except for Bitcoin. So if we jump into a TA, that being said, we can see that Waves had this, period, ever since August it started moving up. We can actually note that, which is a lot earlier than some of the coins in the market here. But we saw, if we bring out the brush, massive periods of, over about 6 months of higher highs, lower lows. So just a gradual uptrend here. We could probably draw some sort of resistance line there. And then we broke that resistance line and we broke out here massively, and we, jumped up roughly 330% in just a couple of weeks, which is absolutely exponential. And that goes back to what I was talking about there, about how this coin has a tendency to be very spiky. Dropped right back down as Bitcoin dropped, and dropped heavier than most altcoins due to the recent run up. That was unprecedented, 80% drop. So pretty hefty drop there, and we kind of bounced around this support zone here between $9.50 and $12, which was formed through a couple of these pumps earlier in the year and late last year. We managed to hold that for support. We broke back up recently, making this sudden impulse move that has put Waves, on the Lunar Crush charts and on people's minds, basically. So, it's jumped up way up on the leaderboards. It's currently sitting at 49 for market cap ranking. Jumped way up there from, I think it was around 70th, something around there. But, it's obviously jumped significantly as it's outperformed most altcoins in the current market. So is Waves going to continue moving here? Let's keep in mind here that yes, Waves is a very spiky mover. It spikes up, spikes down. But we have to remember that the market has not fully recovered yet. Bitcoin dominance is not as low as it was. Less people, comparatively to April when it made this move here, less people are looking to invest in altcoins. Yes, there are definitely, a large amount of people looking to invest in altcoins, but not to the same extent. People are still holding their Bitcoin bags. They're still waiting for that big Bitcoin move to put it in its new all-time high before they start scalp trading altcoins. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a similar kind of move here at this point. I think that this may have been the top here at around $28.50 for the meantime, or at least for next week or so. And that's also because, Waves has outperformed the market massively in the past couple of weeks, and people would be looking to shift the profits they've made from Waves into altcoins that haven't moved yet, that are still on the ground, so they can get, maximum value for their fiat. Essentially, what I'm thinking, we've got the support zone here that we briefly made back here in April. I'm thinking we bounce around this support zone maybe for a few days before dropping down to ultimately this yellow line here at 20 USD. And if I bring up some of the indicators here, we can see that, Waves has broken basically every MA resistance zone. It's broken the bull market support band. It's broken the 50 and 200-day SMAs. It's also broken the Gaussian channel if we want to bring that up, but we're not going to bring that up right now. And it's way, way, way ahead, if we just measure this here, of, a very fundamental short-term SMA, which is the 7 SMA. It's 20% above the 7 SMA. So it's definitely got some moving down to do, or consolidation at this green spot here. I think that the move upwards for the next few days is over. It could consolidate into support. It could drop down. I'm thinking it will drop down to around the $20 region as people sell it off massively. Because keep in mind here, if we just look at this one last daily candle just from yesterday, this one daily candle pumped us up 38%, right? That means that, essentially, if you, on a very base level, 38%, if we, this is not going to mathematically make sense, but we could just say theoretically 38% of the people who are all holding Waves bought the coin yesterday. They don't have much conviction in this coin, as of yet. They're not too, worried about the fundamentals. They just bought the coin yesterday. They just want to flip some quick profits. And, when they see it going down, they're probably going to sell into that. And, people are consumed by emotions, and it will probably go down to this $20 region, which is where it started off yesterday as well. So it's not too unachievable. It looks like it's very far away, but we were literally at this point, less than 24 hours ago. So, coins move fast up, they're going to move fast down. So I'm looking at this $20 region, and we can bring up, if we remove some of these indicators just to make it more simple here, supporting this is obviously, if we bring up the RSI and MACD quickly, we reached 87 on the RSI, which is the highest we've been this entire year. So for us to go higher here would be very unlikely in the short term. And we've also, we can see we've had this gradual move up on the MACD over time since the drop in Bitcoin in May. And every single time we've seen a bearish MACD cross, for example, here in July, we saw, moves down in the Waves USD pair of 36%, 35% in just a matter of a week. If we see that similar MACD cross, if we see that similar MACD cross from Waves dropping out of the support area, we're probably going to see something similar. So if we measure that out here, we'll see, that's 18% down to 20 USD, which would make sense. The market's not as bearish anymore. We probably won't be seeing a 35% drop because, more people have bought up Waves and actually are looking to hold it for the long term. If we look at the Bitcoin pair on Waves, not much structure here in the Bitcoin pair. Let's ignore this massive kind of spike downwards here in 2016. That's when the coin first came onto the market. Sometimes irrational price action happens when it first comes to the market. But we can see that it's kind of formed this trend line here in Waves since the last bull market, downwards trend line. And we've broken out of that in April, which is when Bitcoin dominance started to drop, and we started to see that alt season kick off for the first time, flipped it for support, and we're consolidating above it right now. So as Bitcoin makes its first move, we'll probably be seeing some more consolidation as, people keep buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin's the one who's going to run up first, and then altcoin dominance is going to drop, and Waves will probably go up here to around this point here identified by the blue line, which matches up with some resistance from this zone here. Why am I not expecting it to go to its all-time high in the Bitcoin pair? Well, that's simply because the altcoin market is more flooded than it was in 2017. I think there's probably 5 times the amount of altcoins, maybe more, than there was in 2017. So no matter how big Waves is, no matter how big any coin is, it's very rare for a coin to, make new all-time highs on its Bitcoin pairs from the last cycle, unless the coin was very, very unknown in the last cycle and it's really taken off here. But Waves was very known. Waves has been around for a long time and a lot of people know about it. So I'm not assuming it's going to be reaching all-time highs in the Bitcoin pair if we're going to be following the cyclical theory. Who knows, if Waves enters the top 10 by some stroke of luck here, we could be seeing that, but I personally don't think that's going to be happening. So what is my price prediction for Waves for the rest of this cycle? Well, I don't, as I said, I'm not particularly studying on Waves fundamentals, and I'm not going to assume that it's going to outperform the market massively. So assuming it, performs with the market and doesn't grow massively in comparison to, other altcoins, just kind of flows with what the market does naturally. If we look at my personal Bitcoin prediction here, which is 120k to 150k by December to May, Bitcoin's already reached 64k. At that time, Waves reached $43. So assuming Bitcoin 2x's, which is conservative, and Waves will probably 3x or 4x from that point, because altcoins outperform Bitcoin, massively, sometimes doubling the returns, or, way more than that. So assuming that Waves kind of, we can say 3x from this point, from its all-time high here at $43, we can kind of assume that, take out that indicator for a second, we can say 120 USD to 160 USD sounds like a fair valuation for Waves if it's going to grow, with altcoins. That's assuming it doesn't underperform or outperform. As I said, for a more studied prediction on Waves, you're going to have to look at other channels here. I'm not particularly studied on the fundamentals, but that is if it's going to grow with the market. According to my prediction, 122 USD to 160 USD sounds reasonable. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.